ज़्यादा होती है और वक्त बहुत कम.
Right. So I thought we should discuss a very important topic today.
Okay.
And I know we talk a lot about immigration and how to do something to stay here in the U.S.
Okay.
But to get your immigration benefits, the number one thing is you have to have some sort of an investment.
Right.
देखिए ऐसा है कि
So you're talking about the investment.
Investment category.
Okay.
So when somebody comes to me and says, I'd like to stay here in the US, we ask them, do you want to stay here short term? कुछ लोगों का goal होता है कि हमें सिर्फ 4 से 5 साल यहाँ रहना है, 10 साल यहाँ रहना है, but eventually want to go back. And some people come here for the very, very long term. They want a green card and they want citizenship eventually. Of course, the easiest way, as we've always talked about, is to have a genuine marriage and get married to somebody who's a US citizen, and then you can settle here because it only takes 9 months to get a green card.
Right.
The number one category that I think a lot of our clients fit into is the business investment type.
Okay.
और उसमें बहुत ज़रूरी ये होता है कि आपने जो है ना एक business खरीदना है.
Okay.
And buying the business, I would say, is sometimes more important than getting your immigration benefit.
Okay.
क्योंकि देखिए business जो है ना वो it's all your hard-earned money.
Right.
बाज़ आपकी life savings होती है, बाज़ दफ़ा आपने कर्जा लिया होता है लोगों से.
Okay.
And you go and invest that, and everything depends on not just your own skills. कुछ market पे depend करता है, कुछ franchise है तो franchise policy होती है. Last week I was talking to somebody who had recently bought a business, and the business was doing great, and it was a franchise.
Okay.
All of a sudden, the franchisor, which is the headquarter, decided कि एक होता है ना customer loyalty program होता है. They said कि we'll try something else. बस दफ़ा होता है ना कि आप अगर किसी स्टोर में जाएं और आप परचेस करें तो रिवॉर्ड पॉइंट्स मिलते हैं.
Right.
और वो महीने के एंड में $50 का सिर्फ आ जाता है. They changed that.
Oh, so it was there and they decided not to keep it anymore.
They decided to quote unquote upgrade it.
Oh,
okay. And I don't know what kind of research they did, but all of a sudden the sales went down like 40%. And so this gentleman, who had put down, a lot of his own funds and a lot of the hopes that he had in this business kind of went down. और यहाँ पे control में नहीं रहता. So I wanted to focus on that when you're buying a business, what should you do?
Okay.
So here's the first thing. The first thing is figure out whether you want to be a businessman or not.
Okay. Before you continue that, can you really quickly title this? So what type of visa are we talking about?
So we're talking about an investment visa, which can be a E2,
different categories, right?
E2, L1, or EB5.
और ये हम किस कैटेगरी की बात कर रहे हैं?
Investment category की है.
Okay.
जी. और वीज़े 3 किस्म के होते हैं, depending on the amount of money you invest. तो
Right.
एक का नाम E2 भी है, L1 भी है, और EB5 भी.
So what you're explaining now is going to apply to all three?
It's going to apply to all three.
Okay.
Because the fundamental of all these visas is कि आप अमेरिका में कुछ invest करना जा रहे हैं.
Got it.
You're going to put some money into it.
Okay.
So you need to figure out if you want to be a businessman or not, or businesswoman,
Okay.
for a generic term.
Right.
Because getting into a business is not all that you see. I actually have a client who's tried at least 7 businesses now.
Okay.
And, they not like buying, but they
Right.
said, okay, they signed a letter of intent. They went there for 7 days, 10 days. They sat at a restaurant. They sat at a gas station. And they came back and they said, oh my God, ये तो बड़ा काम है. Like, of course ये
Well,
काम
सारे
है.
businesses काम है,
Exactly. There's nothing called easy money. Well, there is called easy money.
Right.
But it has a lot of consequences, right?
Of course.
So it takes a lot of effort to figure out what you want to do. And secondly, do you have the expertise to do so? Now, a restaurant is a key example. I've had so many restaurant owners who have bought a good restaurant, not a franchise, a good restaurant, cook साहब आते हैं, अब वो कहते हैं जी मैं जा रहा हूँ.
Right, the chef.
The chef is going, right? What are you going to do? Are you going to stand there and cook? I actually had a client who had like 7 chefs leave on him in a year. So you know what he did?
He learned to cook himself?
Yeah, he became a
Smart
chef.
move, yeah.
So actually he came to me very proud. He actually brought me some kebabs and said, this is what I created. And I'm like, oh my God, okay. So you want to make sure the business that you're doing is the business that you're going to enjoy, love, and tomorrow if some doesn't show up, you stand
Right.
there. I used to have at one point some carts in a mall, right?
Okay.
And the mall gets busy on the weekends, so you do
Yes.
your main business there. And there wasn't a single weekend where one of my employees would call and say, "Ji, aaj main nahi aa raha." So get what Bilal Sahab was doing that weekend.
Standing at the cart?
Standing the cart at the mall and selling, things
Whatever
that
it was that it
whatever
was.
it was it was selling.
Alright.
So be careful about that.
Okay.
Secondly, अगर आप business ले रहे हैं, so see if you want a partner or not.
Okay.
And if you're getting a partner is like marriage. Okay, because once you're in, you just can't get out.
Right.
I've had a lot of people say, "I'm going to sue you. I'll see you in court," and that's not a good way to deal in a partnership situation. So, the partnership agreement. When do you get out of the business? What if you die? What if you get convicted? What if you get deported? I actually had one individual who was a partner. He was the main guy, and he got deported one day.
So business का क्या हुआ?
कुछ खास नहीं हुआ उसके बाद.
Okay.
I
Does
mean,
the other person get that entire business, or the guy who got deported? What about his family?
Yeah, so he actually appointed an attorney to
Okay.
represent his interest. He did get power of attorney, and then
Good.
we got some money out eventually. But if you're not physically here, it becomes a little difficult to fight for your rights.
All right. Those of you just tuning in, इस वक्त बात कर रहे हैं हम attorney बिलाल खलीक के साथ. He's with the Khalik Law Firm, and he's here every Tuesday and Thursday. And if you would like to get in touch with the attorney in reference to getting a business visa, immigration, about a lawsuit or bankruptcy or family law, civil litigation, whatever it is that you're needing help with, you can give them a call. They do offer free consultation for all financial listeners. They're only a phone call away, 214-453-2500. Or you can always log on to boldlegal.com.
So once you've figured out that you do want a partner because you want their expertise or you want their money, make sure you have a good partnership agreement in place that takes care of all these issues, whether, when you're having a good time and the business is good, you're never going to look at that agreement.
Okay.
It's only when things go south.
Of course.
And they do go south. And like I said, sometimes it's not your fault. The franchisor changes policy. Sometimes the landlords actually don't renew the leases, for example, and all of a sudden you're out of business. Once you've gotten a partner and a partnership agreement, now you want to make sure that the business has all the right people in place.
Okay.
Now
The staff
in place,
Okay.
right? So कभी-कभार ऐसा होता है कि आप business takeover करते हैं and there's a key player, there's a key manager, key salesperson, right? What are you going to do to retain them? What are you going to do to make sure they don't leave tomorrow?
Right.
And also, what are you going to make sure the seller sells you the business and goes out there and opens up a new one?
Yes.
I'll give you an example. One of my clients bought a travel agency.
Okay.
And he was sharp. He didn't come to me before that. He was pretty sharp, so he put down no compete. That you will not open a travel agency within 20 miles of this location.
Okay.
Well, guess what? Location doesn't matter for travel agencies.
Because they can just do it online. Or
Well, they can do it online. They can on a phone call, right?
Yeah.
And so this guy went 30 miles away, opened up a travel agency,
Oh, my goodness.
and eventually what happened is, he didn't really solicit customers because it was said in there, you don't solicit customers. लेकिन एक साहब ने फोन किया कि जी वो कहाँ गए जी वो अहमद साहब कहाँ हैं? वो कहते जी अहमद साहब तो यहाँ नहीं रहे उन्होंने भेज दिए. अच्छा, then he went and googled Ahmed Saab and said, oh, Ahmed Saab are a new agency. Because that personal relationship. So if there's some key players, and especially for a service business, it becomes very important that you retain them. If you have to give them some equity, उनको share देना है तो आप दे दीजिए.
Okay.
And have all the contracts in place. Now, even if you have good contracts with your employees, there's no reason they can't break them.
Okay.
कुछ चीज़ तो ऐसी हैं कि जिन लोगों ने जो है ना वो non-compete enforce ही नहीं किया है. I was talking to somebody from Arkansas, one of my friends, and he said that you could write a non-compete in your contract. The state of Arkansas will not honor it.
Why is that?
They just think that you have a right to work.
So I
It's your
guess you
livelihood.
need to check with the state first if that is something that's actually
Or-
applicable or it would work.
Exactly, or a good attorney who practices in that state, right?
For sure, yes.
Okay, and so once you've got the key employees in place, उसके बाद थोड़ी location को secure कर लीजिएगा. I actually had a couple of clients who bought a business. The lease said that they can be renewed after 2 years. So let's say कि आपने goodwill दी business की $1 lakh. ठीक है? 2 साल के बाद release खत्म हो गई है. The landlord refuses to renew your
And you
lease.
can't do anything about it because that's not the seller.
Exactly.
Right?
And now you're kind of stuck. And if you paid $100,000 in goodwill, अगर आप वो store relocate करते हैं, वो store जो है location dependent है. For example, if it's a restaurant
Or
if
gas
it's
station.
a gas station, it's very location specific. It's not a travel agency कि आप कहीं चाहिए यहाँ नहीं
कहीं
यहाँ
से
से,
भी business
right?
कर सकते हैं.
So it becomes very difficult. Make sure the leases are in place and the leases are proper.
लेकिन आप उसे change तो नहीं कर सकते.
तो आप फिर business ना खरीदें. You sit down with the seller and you tell the seller, I'm only buying this if the following lease conditions are taken. If you're
Okay.
going to get me a 10-year extension, I'm going to buy it. I'm not
Right.
buying it. Okay?
Okay.
Don't put yourself in a situation where you're the mercy of somebody else. बाज़ लोग कहते हैं कि जी हो जाएगा आप business तो खरीदें. मेरी सेलर से बड़ी अच्छी सलाम दुआ है, मेरी लीज वाले से अच्छी सलाम दुआ है, लैंडलॉर्ड से. It's okay, but if it's not in writing, at the end of the day they can run.
But you know, all this information that you're sharing with us, I hope that people are paying very close attention, because not every person who goes out there to buy a business has that knowledge. So what is your advice to anyone out there, not just someone who's doing it for the sake of immigration, but also for buying a business, because they are going to need legal assistance throughout the process of them making that purchase? What is your advice to them?
So, work with a good broker to start off with, right?
Okay.
And the good brokers actually will give you good advice. They'll know what kind of business it is.
Do they have the legal know-how? Are they going to know the information that you're sharing with us from a legal perspective?
So even though this is legal information, but because the brokers practice quite a bit, they start to gain this knowledge.
Okay.
But of course, a broker can't give you legal advice as to what kind of company to form, is this agreement good or not.
Okay.
One of the things though, and nothing against brokers, is be careful. The brokers are being paid usually, not always, by the seller. Right? So the seller ka business bikega to aapko commission milega.
Right.
So you want to be careful that their interest lies in making that sale. Now there are some brokers that represent the buyer,
Right.
and there are some brokers who actually don't want to make just one sale and ruin their reputation. So
Right.
they'll do the right thing. But if you're buying a business and you're investing your life savings, you need to have a broker, a CPA, and a lawyer with you.
Okay.
CPA will look at the numbers, the projections. We work with a very good CPA firm, and because
Okay.
this guy does auditing and accounting for a lot of businesses, one day a client walked to me and said, "Hey, I'm buying a laundromat, and here are the numbers." I looked at it. The numbers looked a little funny because it said, you're just making too much profit. I gave it to the CPA, and he said that this is very atypical of a laundromat.
Okay.
The cost of goods sold and the sales and things look like the numbers were cooked up. Right?
Okay.
So CPA can look at it and say कि यार ये फर्स्ट टाइम आपका रेस्टोरेंट है, आपने कहा जी कि मैंने डॉग की चिकन बेची है और मेरी कॉस्ट 10 सेंट्स थी चिकन की, नहीं होती 10 cents चार्ज, right? Cost 35, 40, 50 cents होती है. So they can look at some numbers and figure out कि कहाँ पे सही चीज़ है कि नहीं है.
So here's my question, because you do have these additional services available within your law firm, would you say that अगर कोई client आपके पास आते हैं, you can give them all of these services under one roof and assist them, because they might not be able to go to different individuals and they don't know wo kaise hain. So is that something that you would want our listeners to know about, that if they come to you, you can take care of a lot of things all under your law firm?
Exactly. We'd like to be a full service law firm.
Okay.
Anything you need legally, and buying a business is a legal process. You're
Right.
entering in a legal contract.
Okay.
The lease is a contract. The purchase agreement is a contract. Even the franchisor relationship is a contract. So it's a
Okay.
legal service.
Okay.
And one thing also is that we're also a title company.
Okay.
So we can actually close your title, your real estate loan right in our office,
Okay.
because we're authorized. We're actually a fee attorney for L1A title.
Okay, that's
And so we can offer you that service too. And one of the things I think that's key is कि अगर आपने eventually immigration का benefit लेना है ना, आपने E2 का visa लेना है, EB5 का लेना है, so everything should be done correctly up front.
Okay.
बहुत मुश्किल होता है, लोग कहते हैं जी मैं वहाँ चला गया था, वहाँ से कंपनी बना ली, मैंने कंपनी तो मैंने ऑनलाइन बना ली है, I went to LegalZoom.com, I've done this, and all of a sudden the paperwork is not correct.
Right.
Just today I was closing a business, and the guy said, it's so easy, I formed a company online. I said, where's your stock certificate? You want to sell your business, yet you have no proof that you actually own this business. All the state document says is who is the director of the business, who is the owner. He has no proof. Okay,
Right.
so then it becomes difficult for the CPA or the accountant or the lawyer to make all these documents. So let's do it right. It's
Right.
your money. Make sure that you don't squander it because of a few minor mistakes.
That's right. And folks, as you know, the attorney Bilal Khaliq does offer free consultation for all Phoenicia listeners, so do take advantage of that. आप उन्हें phone कर सकते हैं and make an appointment, meet with him in person, or you can talk to him over the phone, or you can have this online or email correspondence with him. If you are looking to consult with him, just call 214-453-2500. That is 214-453-2500.